Welcome to Claire's mesh railing video. I've done a lot of railing videos, and I can do them, but I got to tell you, if someone asks me how to do something, I got to think about it and figure out, and I really don't have it formulated in my mind in what I'm doing. I can do it, but anyway, this is what Claire wanted. She wanted a mesh railing like this, and there's a lot of different ways of doing it, I suppose. I mean, you can make it a texture if you want, a PNG file and what have you, but then when you cut a section, you don't see the rails and what have you. But this is essentially what she wanted, and I started the timer. And so how did I build this? Actually, I've gotten into the habit, I'm starting to get in the habit of making these template plans that I just save in a folder somewhere. I got a template for doors if I want to make a custom door, template for the railing and stuff. And it's really just a starting point if you want to build a custom rail. And I take, and this is a wall just to get, so I know where something is right there. But this is the rail right here. And you can see it right there. What is it made out of? This one's made out of piece solids. Everything's a piece solid. I suppose if I wanted to, I could have made this out of this mesh out of moldings, but I made them out of piece solids, and they're square piece solids. See that square? It is actually square. You can make them round if you want, because the mesh is typically round, but I have a feeling that it goes back to the chain link mess. I mean, you start putting in too many round objects, and sheep gets really bogged down. They like square things more than round. So this is so small, I made these things out of squares. These are all piece solids, and that's what I got. And so what am I going to do with that? I'm going to take this, because this is my template plan, right? And I think over time I'll have a bunch of different railings that I can just copy and modify a little bit. And then what I would do is I would take this railing, Control-C, I'd open up a new plan, 6 to paste in place, and then I'd take an overview of it, and here's the overview, and now you want to convert it to a symbol. Now you want to convert it. You got a 3D look, and you want to convert it to a symbol. So you go to Layout Symbol, and you convert it to a symbol. And I always go Add to Library and Show Advanced Options. Mostly, that's what I do. And now the choice is, what do you make it? Do you turn it into a cabinet, door, or drawer? Nah, I don't. Well, I don't know. Well, would you ever want to do that? I suppose you could. Well, that's something else. Door, no. Doorway, no. Electrical, no. Fixture. I don't know. I don't think you turn it to a fixture. Then it would be just a simple symbol, and you could stretch it. And I guess you could. It depends upon your symbol. But here's the key for railings. I think you're going to either turn it into millwork or molding. Millwork or molding. And I think for this particular rail, what I did is I made one out of millwork and made one out of molding. I've got it already made there, so why don't I just make 2 of them? So if I go to my library and I pull up my library, there it is. I got a rail. I always name it rail. What is it? The overall, it's a rail. And what kind is a mesh? And what kind of a symbol is either millwork or molding. So it's the same thing as millwork or molding, and there's 2 different ways I can use this. So F6. So here's the deal. How do I use it? Here's the question. How do I use it as millwork? If I use it as millwork, I could select this rail right here, U, and Newels and Ballisters, it's 42-inch high rail, blah, 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 blah. And you got to size this thing to you got to size this correctly, I think. And just so you know, my computer's slowing. So you know, when I made this thing, I want my rails 42 inches above. It has to be 42 inches high. So mine is actually 38 inches tall. My rail's symbol is actually 38 inches tall because I'm anticipating 4 inches of clearance from the bottom of the rail to the deck. So that's what I made it. So if I select this thing, this rail, this thing's going to be made out of, when that new user interface comes along, it's going to be so much easier, I think, instead of thumbing through all these stupid tabs. I'm going to select a panel out of the library, and I go to my rails. Can I choose rail mesh molding? No. My only choice is millwork. Millwork works with rail panels. So there we go. Okay. And just so you know, I made my mesh 6 foot long. So let's just take a look at this rail and see how I space my newels. Newel, I space them 96 inches on center. Suppose I space them 200 inches on center. There you go. That worked out pretty good, didn't it? I think it just, in fact, here you can see where this 6 foot deal is right there. See that break right there? You get this kind of break in a vector mode. In a render mode, and you won't see it. You won't see that break, okay? By the way, when I made my symbol, I used 2 materials, so I can easily change it. If I want, I can always change this. There, see that? And it changed both of them. Isn't that interesting? Well, I guess it's one whole component. So actually, if I was smart, I would have made the top rail out of one material and the bottom rail out of another material, just so I had that option of different materials. So back to this, I'm going to make him at 6 foot on center. There. Okay. Now, what's wrong with this? That newel goes past the guardrail, doesn't it? And maybe I want that guardrail to go on top. So how would I do that? Oh, well, okay. Well, I'll cut to the chase. Here's another way of doing it. Remember, I made this symbol out of a millwork and a molding. This is how I use it out of a molding. Maybe this is really basic stuff to you guys. I hope it is. It's not basic to me because I'm pretty much a nitwit. So if I go over to this plan here and I go 1, 2, 3, I just created 3 lines. You see bottom right hand side right there. Turn that into a molding. Convert it into a molding. And I convert it into it's a molding. Add new. And now I go to user catalog. And now I go rail mesh molding. Remember, this time I don't have rail mesh, millwork. It's only rail mesh molding. That's all I have. So I know what it is, rail mesh molding. Okay. Okay. No, by the way, I always set the molding profile at 0, just to finish floor, I guess. But I want it 4 inches off the deck. Oh. Well, I haven't added it yet. Rail mesh molding. Okay. Now I want to set the bottom 4 inches up. Remember, it's 38-inch molding. So plus 4, it's 42 inches tall, and it's 4 inches off the bottom. Okay. So I just created that molding, and here it is over here. And so now what do? Delete. Now, I created, what's this right here? I don't even know what this is. That's how I made my symbol. That's my symbol plan that I like to use. I don't need that anymore. And just to run that through you one more time. Suppose this is my template plan, right? Well, suppose, actually, I think she wanted her squares to be 2 inches on center or something. I made mine 4 inches on center. Well, you could take this thing, copy it over to the left, and respace just respace them. So I've got this thing. So whenever I want to mesh rail, I can just come to this thing and modify this a little bit. I don't have to make all these little things again. I know what spacing they are. If I want a wider, longer, whatever this is, I could do that too. And just so you know, notice how I made this. I made this thing at the end, the vertical at the end, and I didn't put one on this end. Because if I put one on this end, then at wherever they meet, it's going to be double wide. So you got to leave one side off, or put one on both sides, but make each one, the ones on each side, half the width. But if you make them half the width, then you're going to get a vertical line where they join. So this is probably the better way to go. So that's my railing template, okay? I don't need that anymore. So I'm back to this, F6. So now I'm I'm looking at this, and these walls right here, these railings right here, are defined as U. These are always so confusing to me. Open. Do I want to open with a middle rail? I could throw that in there. Now, just so you know, if I make this at 24 inches, it goes up 24 inches, and the next one's spaced in the center. Now, you can size these rails, but whatever. So I want 4, but I don't want the middle rail. So I want it open. No rail. No. Panels. No. Yes, I don't want panels. And I do want a rail, but I don't want the middle rail. So there I go. I don't want balusters because I'm going to add my own balusters in there. So that's what I want to select. And now I've selected that, okay? Now I can come back here. And actually, this is not railing. I think I'd put that on the molding on the inside, I think, or outside, whatever it is. I always get confused on this too. So now, and here, this is it. No. 1, 2, 3. I think I want that to be 3.5 inches wide. It is. Should I make it? No. I want it 3.5 inches wide. My nulls are 3.5 inches wide, so I want my bottom and top rail 3.5 inches wide, okay? So now I come back here, point to point 9, stick that there, pull this over like this, and over, and over. So this rail is actually made out of 2 things. It's made out of a deck rail, plus it's made out of, you know what, the whatever I created. Now you'll notice that I have this break right here, right, where it breaks. So actually, I think what I really would rather do is I'd rather select the 3 walls, go to my null height, and I really want to make that 40.5. I'm going to drop down 1.5 inches because I want to put a 2x on top, right? There. And I don't think I like that. Control-C, Control-V. What's that look like? Oh. What did I do? Oh, I just copied the walls, you nitwit. 1, 2, 3, delete them. I want to copy the rail itself. Tab. Control-C, Control-V, stick it right there. Let's see what it looks like. And there, see, you can see those breaks right there. And that's sort of a little disconcerting, I think. But there's something magic about this. And I'm about to tell you in a second. Here's something now. Suppose I select Shift-J. No, Shift-R. I'm going to try something here. I want to get rid of the top rail. That's what I want to do. I want to get rid of the top rail. Can I do that? Rails. Rail style. All I want is a top rail. Open. I don't want no rail. Oh, okay. Suppose I do this. This might be really what I want to do, okay? I want the pilasters, the nulls, and I want the nulls at 40.5 inches tall. I don't know why I can't select the height because I'm selecting all 3 and they've already changed it or something, I guess. Okay. Oh, that there it is, right? Oh, railing height is, I don't know why the railing height is, okay. Why can't I change my null height? Oh, maybe I have to make that 40.5. Maybe the railing height can, what'd I do? How about I come over to this one right here, tab, 40.5. 40.5. There. That's not right, is it? I'm thinking about this. The molding should be 42 inches. I got rid of, I don't have a top rail. Okay, so Here you go. 1, 2. Select my wall. Shift R. God dang it. U. How about 42? Oh, there it is. Okay, it just went up to, I guess it just went up to there. It went to the underside of my deal. Now, you got to remember on my molding itself, this is actually a molding. So now I can say add new one, and I want to add a new one, and I go to my my moldings, and I'm going to select my molding number 1, and I want that to be 1.5 inches high. I want the width to be, how about 5.5, a 2 by 6, and it's going to be 4 inches to the bottom. Add new one. Molding number 2, that's going to be my top rail. Okay. And the height is 1.5. It's going to be a 2 by 6, so this is 5.5. And the vertical is 42 inches to the top. Okay. There you go. And for whatever reason, they... Oh, how about you? Outside. There. Now you got it. And now you might have to offset the horizontal distance on these things a little bit. I don't know. You think that's right? No. Oh, I made it 4 inches. I want to make it -1. Watch this. See? See how it just popped out 1 inch? Now I select this again and molding number 2, which is the top rail. Offset the horizontal distance -1. There. And now you'll notice that actually it's Z-fighting with the top and bottom rail that I created that was part of the rail symbol that I initially made. And I've actually learned in the past that if I'm going to make these out of moldings, I really don't need that top and bottom rail because I'll just add extra moldings. So the cheap and simple way to fix this real quick, I think, is to go U, molding number 1. Instead of, I'm going to make it 2 inches tall, and it's 3.75 to the bottom. And you're going to see it gets, it gobbles up that other molding that's part of the symbol itself. And this is 2, and it's 42.25 to the top. Now, see? Now I've gobbled it all up. Yeah, pretty good. I might make a little bit of Z-fighting in there, but you get the idea. So there you go. So Claire wanted a mesh railing, and there's 2 ways of doing it: out of panels or a molding. And there's probably 3 or 4, and heck, I don't know. And so this railing over here, which used the molding, actually also used the deck wall itself. I mean, I had created the deck rail with the posts. I didn't add any rails to it because my rails came out of the molding itself. Now on this one here, I made it out of panels. And quite frankly, with the panels, I don't know. I mean, well, let's just try something in here. Let's go take this U and make my null width 0. Can I make the null width 0? Let's see what happens. There you go. And now it might be there somewhere, but I made the null width 0, so it's continuous. And now I can add my own nulls where I want them. That's the point there. I can add my own nulls where I want them. Yeah, if I come over to here too, I think this is the same thing. The null width is 0, and they're square. There. And I suppose maybe to get rid of this thing here, null spacing is 300. You think I get rid of that thing? No. But there you go. And then that's the problem right there. You don't get a real good clean finish right there, do you? Because the newel's in the center. Suppose if I take these two things and can I offset the newel? That's the question now. Newel offset, there it is. How about if I offset the newel 1.75? You think I did it in the right direction? U. How about offset the newels 3 inches? How about if I offset the newels minus 3 inches? Nothing. Nothing changes. How about if I go back to newel offset is newel offset. Oh, come on, motherfucker. So I obviously this, and I mean, look, you just got to know what you're doing. Newel offset 0. Does it make a difference? Not yet. I guess, quite frankly, I've never played with a newel offset before. Well, so let's find out what the newel offset is all about. I'll give it a newel width of 3.5. There it is. Now offset the newel 2 inches. There you go. Offset the newel minus 2 inches. That's interesting. Oh. How about the newels here at 96 inches? Okay. Oh, this might make a difference. Now, suppose I select those. Offset the newels minus 3.5. Yeah, see? See what happened right there? Check that out, man. Now, here's the key. You want these newels to actually drop down and lap the side of the deck, don't you? I would. I've never thought about this before, but I would want them to. Can you do that? No, because the railings don't go any lower than the floor of the deck. So how do you do that? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'd put my own newels in there. That's what I would do. So that doesn't look too good. 0. Yeah, I don't get this stuff, man. Anyway, hey, that's the end. That's the end.